It's the Sunday Chronicle on Stacks 92.1. It's the Sunday Chronicle. We gon' give the news and keep you up to date. From crimes to the politics, you gon' know what's up around your way. We give 2 thumbs up to everyone out here doing their thing. We gon' show mad love to all the ones working hard in communities. It's the Sunday Chronicle.
Good morning and welcome to the Sunday Chronicle. I'm your host, Giannis Jackson, coming to you from Stacks 92.1. This is the platform for the community because community knows what community needs. Thank you so much for joining me again today. I'm so glad my listeners are here. I am glad to be here. It's a great day, and I have a special guest. Again, all my guests, they are special, and they are doing things in the community. And so Judge Kristen Simmons, I want to make sure I pronounce everything right, get every syllable. I want to do all of that, and I want to make sure we highlight the things that you have been doing in the community. I would like to talk about your appointment to the seat some time ago by Governor Whitmer, and just we got so much to talk about. Thank you for being here in the midst of your busy schedule, and just introduce yourself and tell the people a little bit more about Kristen, what's behind that. And I hope it's okay if I call you Kristen.
Oh, completely fine. Thank you, Giannis, for even inviting me.
Yes.
It's wonderful to be here and just to have an opportunity to engage more with the community. And yes, you pronounced everything correctly. It's
okay, good.
Judge Kristen Simmons. Yep.
Okay. And so tell me a little bit about what you're doing now in the community. I know you are running for your judicial seat. You are the incumbent, meaning that you are presently in that seat, correct?
That's correct. And so I've been in the seat since 2019. I was appointed by the governor, as you mentioned, maybe 4 to 5 months before the pandemic, before the shutdown.
Oh, my.
Yeah. So
that was interesting, I bet, huh?
It was very interesting because I took the bench the first week of October. I was appointed in September 2019. I took the bench the beginning of October, and then, I was learning my job. Mm-hmm. And with all of that comes, you have to plan some other things. Like you got to have an investiture, which is like, your ceremonial celebration of you taking the bench, and people come out and celebrate you.
Oh, is that when all the judges come in and it's like this big judge party?
Yeah, exactly. I actually have to attend one tomorrow for another Black woman judge, Stephanie Dawkins-Davis. She's appointed. She's been appointed by our president to the 6th Circuit Court of Appeals. So that's a federal Court of Appeals for our jurisdiction.
Nice. So do you have to be a judge to go to the judge party, or can press come?
No, press definitely should come. The community comes. That's what it's for. The judges they come in with their robes to honor another judge joining them, but it's definitely an event that's for the community.
Oh, I would love to do that. So do other people come dressed up in robes if they're not judges? But
they don't.
I would want to see the look on everybody's face, like, hey, how you guys doing? So with that being said, so with women, there is a movement, right? And I'm so happy to see it. And when you were appointed to that seat, tell me how that made you feel.
If I could even back up a little bit before then, because it was an overwhelming feeling. Even as I sit here today, I'm still overjoyed, thankful, humbled about it. But if you think back to 2018, the beginning through the middle of the beginning to the end of 2018, we had no Black women judges in Ingham County, 0.
Wow.
And obviously we had one before, Judge Nettles Nickerson.
Yes.
And ever since then, we had never had another Black woman ascend to the bench in this community. And then Judge Ward, Judge Dunnings,
yes,
and then Judge Stokes. They all took the bench around the same time. So,
yes,
Judge Ward and Judge Dunnings ran their election. They ran wonderful elections, and then they took the bench in January of that year. But in, I think, November, December of 2018, our previous governor appointed Judge Stokes.
Okay.
So she took the bench. And so now we go and we're all out and we're in the community celebrating these Black women who have worked hard to ascend to this bench. And I don't know if you're familiar with attorney Teresa Bingman, but she always says how my husband, Spencer Simmons, he was at, I think it was Judge Stokes' investiture, and he was just so intent upon, I need to get all 3 of the Black women judges in one picture. Like, I need to get all of them. And she said, I laughed because little did he know in a short time period, God had something, in store for you. I didn't know. I think at the time, because I was late to the investiture, because I was up north. I worked at the Attorney General's office.
Okay.
And I had to travel around the state for court. So I was coming back in like snow from up north. So I was running a little bit late. So every time I hear that story, it's just overwhelming that I just I had no clue that I would be the next person to ascend to the bench in this county. So it's been a wonderful experience. It's been enlightening. It's been encouraging because I just feel like I have the ability to make so much more impact.
How does it feel to be a history maker?
It feels, I don't even look at it as that, but I guess it does. I mean,
you're making history. This moment right now, I mean, you're a history maker. You are a trailblazer. And just think about it. We don't want to downplay that. I mean, think about the Black women judges on the bench within Ingham County, within Lansing even.
It's a mantle that I carry with great pride, but I carry it with care because anyone who knows me, if you contacted any one of my past employers in the legal profession, they'll tell you, I take great passion in the work that I do. And so for me, it's just a wonderful experience for me to be able to give this level of service to this community. It's wonderful for me to be able to inspire so many. I mean, I had this event this week and a young lady, she stopped by, not because she wanted to do karaoke or to meet or greet. She said, I follow you on social media. I just wanted to meet you. She took a selfie and she had to run. And those moments like that, it's like, wow, I guess I'm making, impacts in ways that I don't even see visibly. But just to be able to inspire other people. I just remember growing up and I didn't have the ideal person that I could look up to. And I like to be that for others.
It's inspiring. Judges, so inspiring to look up at that website and see someone that looks like me. I'm going to say that because, I mean, I'm almost to the point like I'm in tears because to see that,
right.
To see little girls, they're going to see you and they're going to know that they can do that same thing, right? And so this is not tears of sadness. These are tears of joy because we've overcome such a huge hurdle. And we could choose to focus on the negative, right? We could say, well, there are only so many such and such and such. But no, look what it took to get there.
That's
right.
True.
And you probably could have thought that moment you were taking, your oath. Just think a few months prior. I mean, did you have any idea that you'd be there?
I don't think I've ever cried more than when I got the call that I was getting the appointment. So it was not something that I anticipated. I didn't know this was on the horizon. It was a goal that I had for sure. Since I was younger, I want to be a judge. And so I patterned my life and my practice that way. But I just didn't know it was going to come at the time that it did. And you mentioned, us overcoming and that we are still overcoming. I mean, you got to look, we just got our first Black Supreme Court justice, first Black woman Supreme Court justice. And so we're still overcoming and we're still making impact and glass ceilings are still being shattered.
Yes.
And we still have more work to do.
Yes.
But it is a beautiful thing. And I'm just so honored that God chose me to be a part of that movement.
Well, it's great to see so many people working together. And I wanted to ask you a little bit about your interest in law. What is the area that you're interested in as far as your expertise, so to speak? Is that the right question? I hope I worded it correctly.
Right. So, my practice was pretty diverse. I started off actually doing criminal defense. And at the time, we didn't have a public defender's office. The way it worked was the county had more of a list, and you would be in your own private practice and you could get placed on that list. So I did criminal defense that way. And then I did some family law because I ran a clinic at LCC.
Oh, okay.
And so that was in partnership with Legal Services of South Central Michigan so that we would provide just some basic level family law advice to people who are trying to maybe go through divorce. Nothing major, because the goal was to educate some students that I was mentoring.
Okay. So you gravitated more towards the family law?
Family. I only did family for a little bit. Now, I ended up going more into civil.
So, okay.
Right. I ended up going more into civil, and that manifested after I was at the city attorney's office. Still, again, doing some criminal, because I had to be a district court prosecutor at the city attorney's office.
Okay.
But if anybody knows anything about the Lansing city attorney's office, you are going to be a jack of all trades, because you're moving a million different directions in one day. One minute you're in court, the next minute you're up in council writing an opinion or giving an opinion, and then we had civil litigation, that you have to represent for the city.
And when you say civil litigation, is it thing like parking tickets and those sorts of things that people appear in front of you for?
So those are still parking tickets, and those are traffic violations. Those are still filed under the criminal code.
That's under criminal.
Right.
Okay.
So, but civil litigation would be anytime you're suing a party or a person sues someone for money.
Like evictions and things?
An eviction would fall in a category of civil.
Okay.
Right. And before I went to law school, I was an eviction paralegal.
Okay.
So I did evictions, but I represented banks. So it was during the time when there was a lot of foreclosures and we were liquidating properties.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But evictions would be a form of civil, or it would fall into the civil category.
Okay.
But civil litigation, meaning you get in a car accident, and you want your car fixed, and the insurance doesn't want to pay, you got to sue the other person.
Okay.
Yeah, that would be civil, or you had a dispute with someone and they owe you some money, and so you want to sue them. Even small claims would be, things that you see like on TV,
like on People's Court.
Exactly.
That's what I was thinking.
That's all
I
small
heard the music,
claims.
it was like, nah.
Exactly. That's all like small claims, civil matters.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And is that the area that you're over now is civil?
Well, in our district court, so our district courts in Ingham County, we do all areas of the district court. There are some courts in the state that's separated, so one judge probably is only doing traffic offenses while other judges are doing civil. We have to do it all. There's only 4 judges in our bench. We have a magistrate that handles all of our small claims.
Okay.
And then we will take small claims appeals. So if you appeal her decision, it'll come to one of the judges.
And you're at 54A, and that's the city of Lansing.
Lansing City, yep, Ingham County, correct.
All righty.
And so in district court, we handle small claims matters, all civil litigation up to $25,000 in controversy. Okay. So that just means you can't sue for more than $25,000 here.
Okay.
If you need to sue for more than $25,000, you have to go to the circuit court. If you have a case where there is a federal question, meaning that you're seeking remedy under the federal law, or you get jurisdiction, diversity of jurisdiction, meaning you've got people that you live here, but the other person maybe lives in another state. You can seek to file your civil lawsuit in the federal courts then. But for our purposes, in actions that took place within our jurisdiction under $25,000, they file them in this district court in our jurisdiction. We also handle all criminal matters. So all criminal matters in Michigan start in the district court. And so felonies would start there, and we would have them up to preliminary examination, which is a hearing where we determine a level of evidence that meets the standard of probable cause. And if that we find sufficient probable cause, then the judge will then send the case to the circuit court for their trial. We don't hold felony trials in district court.
Okay.
Now we handle misdemeanor criminals all the way through the trial stage.
Wow. And I have so much respect for you, because I feel like I'm back in grad school right now. I'm like, oh my goodness.
It's a lot. And then we do landlord tenant. Wednesdays, yesterday was strictly landlord tenant.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, with that being said, I want to talk more about this, but I want to shift to your personal endeavors and some of the things that make you tick. But first, we're going to take a small break, and I'm going to remind my listeners that this is the Sunday Chronicle, heard here every Sunday morning on Stacks 92.1. I'm Giannis Jackson. This is the platform for the community, because community knows what community needs, and we'll be back after this.
At Lansing Community College, I'm learning for my future. LCC offers 1- and 2-year pathways to careers in healthcare, IT, manufacturing, and other professional trades. More than 500,000 professional trades jobs will need to be filled in Michigan by 2026. So I know I'm learning for a great career. I belong at LCC. You belong here too. Visit lcc.edu/youbelong and enroll today.
I'm the type to dance to her very own beat. Ask me where I am, probably somewhere singing. Around my way, they call me Jingle Queen, because I sing about everything. Like just do it Nike, have it your way Burger King, Snap, Crackle, Pop, Go Rice Krispies. Maybe it's me. You should call me the Jingle Queen when you're in need of dope melodies. You should call the Jingle Queen when you're in need. You should call me the Jingle Queen. Oh, you should call the Jingle Queen.
www.laurepen.com. That's LAUREPEN.com.
Do you own a timeshare? Well, face the facts. You made a mistake. You made a bad purchase. A timeshare is not an investment. It's a money pit that continues forever. If you use your timeshare, that's great. But if you don't, and you want to legally get out of your contract, call my friends right now at the Timeshare Exit Hotline. They're an experienced team of lawyers who help good people like you get out of a timeshare contract that they just don't want. Don't throw away your money on maintenance fees. Use it for things you really want. We can help you end your timeshare contract and stop the money drain immediately. If you're ready to move on with your timeshare, call our team right now.
Cancel your timeshare now with a free call. 800-953-0866. 800-953-0866. 800-953-0866. That's 800-953-0866.
And welcome back to the Sunday Chronicle. I am your host, Giannis Jackson, coming to you from Stacks 92.1. This is the platform for the community because community knows what community needs. Today, I have a special guest here. Her name is Judge Kristen Simmons, and she is currently in the seat of, I'm going to let her say the exact title.
54A District Court Judge. I'm the incumbent in the seat right now.
All right. So she's the incumbent in the seat and she is running for office. And what are, who are your opponents that you're going against?
Well, I run in a PAC. So, so there's 2 seats that'll be on the election ballot this year. My seat, Judge Kristen D. Simmons, and then Judge Tony Flores was appointed in April.
And he did karaoke with you, right?
He was at karaoke as well. Yep. Judge Flores was appointed by the governor in April.
Okay.
To replace Judge Alderson, who had retired after 20 years of service.
Oh, yes.
Yes. And then we have a third person who is seeking, or challenging is what we call it, the PAC to try to get one of the seats.
Okay. All righty. Now, the other judge that was with you, the third judge.
Judge Julie O'Neill.
Where is she? What does she reside over?
She's in 56 District Court. Well, yes. So that is the District Court for Eaton County.
Correct. Okay. So not far.
Correct. And she also is up for re-election.
Oh, okay. So it's a lot going on, and I love the way you manage your time. But I want to ask you, because I mean, we don't know, we're on the outside of it. Tell me a little bit about what judges do and some of the basic do's and don'ts when we run into you, Your Honor.
Oh, thank you. So, a lot of people always ask, like, what do judges do? Or I've never been before a judge. We preside over cases. So whether it's criminal cases, which in our court we do, civil matters, it could be a landlord tenant matter. It could be a family law matter. It could be a probate issue, which that's what our judge, Shauna Dunnings, does.
Okay.
Probate matters, and she does, handle some family issues through that. But we preside over issues, meaning we're like the umpire in the game. So we make the calls. We call the shots. We call, the fouls, those kinds of things, and we make sure that the court rules are upheld. We make sure that people's constitutional rights are not being violated in the process, and that we are making sure those cases are moving appropriately.
Okay. And this judicial race is very sensitive, right? It's not like the race of a typical political candidate.
No.
It's not like running for city council. Tell me a little bit about those differences, because I know it's very specialized.
It's a lot of differences. I mean, we have different campaign rules. Judges, we can't endorse other parties, but we can be endorsed. Yes. But you can only endorse other judicial candidates. You can't solicit funds or donations as a judge. Now, obviously, someone on your committee can solicit on your behalf,
like a campaign manager.
Correct, and they can do those things. Or if we have you have to create this campaign finance. You can't be your own treasurer, nor can your spouse be your treasurer. There's a lot of rules that we have to follow and guidelines, but then also canvassing. That's the typical thing when you're running for election. Well, we have safety concerns. Yeah. Because we are sitting judges. You don't want to knock someone's door and it's somebody you have on probation, or
you stand back. You don't want to. Those aren't necessarily engagements that they would encourage you to have, because judicial safety is a big thing. Yeah. Somebody was. I was at a door once, and it was a judge running. And one of the constituents says, "Well, I'm not going to vote for them because they didn't get out their car." And I was thinking, I said, well, I don't know.
The judge didn't get out the car?
Yeah.
That's not necessarily knocking the door, but I have had so many people say, wow, you're the judge and you're actually knocking my door. Well, that's the whole thing. Yes. No, that's not the same. I try to be very careful. I mean, you obviously can get a list to find out whose door you're knocking. If that door, if that name looks familiar, you probably want to not knock that door. Right. And even doors that you don't feel comfortable, I mean, you can still leave something like, hey, I was here, hope, reach out to me, that sort of thing. But, judicial safety across the country has been a thing. I don't know if you all heard of, or if you heard of, there were some incidents on the East Coast where there was a judge who had presided over a case, and the person, who I think was actually an attorney or licensed in some capacity, and he appeared to her house. This was in the middle of the pandemic. Yes, and it was the man and his family. Yeah, and killed her son. Yes, and shot her husband. That. And wow. Right. So judicial safety's been huge, and judicial safety, even for women, has been super a priority. Yes. I mean, we don't have any seminars or training that doesn't include a safety aspect. So in this election season, we have to also be careful about that. The other thing is that judges cannot endorse any political parties. So we can't, I get asked a lot, like, or are you a Democrat or a Republican? We can't publicly endorse any party. Now, a party can endorse me, but that doesn't mean that that's a party that I'm endorsing. We can't do that. And you're not, and this is a nonpartisan race. Correct. Judges are nonpartisan. And I wanted to ask you, with the slogans and things too, you have to be careful with that, right? With your campaign slogans. Yes. And so how do you feel just being in the middle of it right now, besides exhausted? Yeah, I am very tired, and I can assure you I can't wait for this to be over. Well, she doesn't look like it. She looks fabulous. Oh, thank you. I'm going, and I think that I tend to do that anyways. I've always been a person that thrived when I had a lot going on. I've always been someone that's involved in so many things because I am in this organization, that organization, but in the midst of this, I feel good because I feel supported. I feel as though the community that I serve see the work that I do, and they appreciate the work I do. I have had in this race countless people who I've presided over maybe their issues or issues related to their family. One lady came to me and she's crying because of, the way that I treated her family when they came before me. And that's part of what my platform and strategy is that people should be treated with respect regardless.
Yes.
You're going to court on your worst day. And so you don't need to feel degraded or less than because you're there. And you may not get the outcome that you want. That's not the goal. Is not for me to give you the outcome that you want, but for you to leave here believing that you were treated fairly, that you had an opportunity to be heard.
Yeah. And I've learned over the years a little bit more about judges and what they actually do. They uphold the law, right? And so there's a difference in just representing constituents and then upholding the law.
Correct. When we can't, we can't make promises about things, which a lot of people can't. Politicians make a lot of promises about what they're going to do when they get there. We can't do that. Like, for me to say that I want to be a judge because I don't like the way XYZ law is contrary to what a judge can do, especially the district court. We don't make law in district court. We uphold the law, and we make sure, and should be making sure, that the law is applied fairly and impartially.
Yes, and I know that those are you're tasked with a lot. It's a great responsibility because, like you said, the outcomes are not always what we get, and it could go for both parties still not getting exactly what they want. And like you said, that's not what it's about, upholding the law. So let's talk a little bit. We'll shift a little bit before we wrap things up. I just wanted to hear a little bit about what you do in your personal time and some of the things that you're most passionate about.
I think the thing for me that I think made doing the election so much easier is that I was already heavily inundated with the community. So I'm passionate about community and community service. I'm a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. I'm a member of the Links Incorporated. I am a member of Tabernacle of David, which everyone knows we do a lot of community service there. But I also serve in the ministry, even as a judge. Some people are like, "Oh, you still serve on the praise team?" Well, yes. Or you still, are the choir director for the youth.
Wait, let's stop.
Yes.
Okay, so you're on the praise team.
I'm on the praise team, and I'm the youth choir director.
I'm not going to see. Sometimes I put my guests on the spot and ask them to rap or sing, but I'm not going to ask you unless you want to do that, because I wasn't at karaoke, but I heard you can blow.
No, we're not gonna do that today. We're not gonna do that. It is Sunday, but we can do that another time.
I'm just pulling your leg, but no, I did hear that you really, really love to sing, and you're very good at it. Was that your video around Christmas? You were singing on Holy Night?
Yes, that was me.
Okay. I remember. Yes. I was like, oh my goodness. Okay.
Yep. That was in the middle of the pandemic, and my pastor, Larry Mitchell Trice Jr., he wanted to do something to celebrate, even though we weren't able to have our normal service. So we had a number of the members do different presentations, and that was mine. And so it was a nice experience.
Well, that is good. And also, our time is growing near, but I wanted to see if there's something that you would like to leave with our listeners.
Yes, I want to make sure that my service from the bench is one that restores the trust with the community. A lot of times people have bad experiences with the judicial system, or they don't understand the judicial system. And so because of that, they have a distrust of that. And the judicial system is not perfect. And what on earth is perfect? But work is being done, and I think that changes are being made, and the right people are being put into position to make sure that the system that we have is worked to the best capacity it possibly can. And so my goal is to help to restore that face of justice and the trust there, so that when people come before the court, they feel like, I'm going to be treated fairly. I know that it's going to be the fair and impartial application of the law when I come before this judge. And then also to know that I'm a real person. I think you mentioned that earlier. Like I go to community events. I knock doors myself. I wear regular clothes. I know people see my pictures up when I'm looking like a judge, and like, you don't look like that now. Yeah, because I'm a regular person. Yes. Under that, I have human interests, and I engage with human beings. If you see me in public, please talk. I love people. And so I'm a people person. I'm a servant. I was sent here to be a servant, and I view being a judge not as a position of power, but a position of service. And so that's what I want to leave with the people.
And that is wonderful. Your Honor, I thank you for your service. I thank you for being here and allowing people to see who you really are.
Thank you.
And I thank you for answering that call, that very great call to be of service to the community, and not just in Lansing, but communities. So we appreciate you, and we want to have you back. And I thank you for just your service, and keep going with your campaign. I'm really happy to see that there's been a very so much integrity run with your race and those of the other candidates. So I just wanted to give hats off to you all, because it takes a lot to put your life on blast and sacrifice so much to be of service, right? And so we thank you, because I know it can be thankless and such, but we thank you, my audience. I'm gonna speak on their behalf and say we all thank you, and I hope I didn't take too much liberty. But with that being said, that time is here, is more than near. I'm gonna sign on off. This is Giannis Jackson coming to you from Stacks 92.1. This is the Sunday Chronicle, the platform for the community, because community knows what community needs. Thank you, and see you next time.
At Lansing Community College, I'm learning for my future. LCC offers 1- and 2-year pathways to careers in healthcare, IT, manufacturing, and other professional trades. More than 500,000 professional trades jobs will need to be filled in Michigan by 2026. So I know I'm learning for a great career. I belong at LCC. You belong here too. Visit lcc.edu/youbelong and enroll today.
Have you ever met a single person in your life that enjoys paying taxes? No, no one does. If you can't sleep at night because you have a huge problem with the IRS, I've got some free advice for you. This service is strictly limited to individuals that owe the IRS $10,000 or more in back taxes. And if you qualify, we can guarantee that you won't be writing a big fat check to the IRS, or our services cost you nothing. The first 100 people that call today will get a free tax consultation worth $500. Stop worrying about your IRS problem. We can help you, we promise. Call the tax doctor right now. I mean right now, to learn more.
800-668-2493. 800-668-2493. 800-668-2493. That's 800-668-2493. Let me tell you a story about Bill. Bill was a normal guy in his 50s. He had back surgery about 2 years ago. Bill was in a lot of pain. He dealt with his pain by taking the Percocets his doctor prescribed for him. Bill took more and more and more of them to help with the pain, until one day the prescriptions weren't enough to get rid of Bill's pain. Then one day, Bill found someone to help him get rid of the pain with illegal drugs he didn't need a prescription for. Fast forward to today. Bill lost his job and his family. The only thing he does have is his drug dealer. If you know Bill's story and you don't want to end up like Bill, call the Detox and Treatment Helpline right now to get away and get treatment. 800-210-7907. 800-210-7907. 800-210-7907. That's 800-210-7907.